Chapter 530. In the past, Ydir had heard that the power to manipulate time simply did not exist in this world. However, the living proof that such a thing might be possible was Ydir Ale himself. As incredible as it seemed, he had no choice but to acknowledge its potential. I would have to see the original text with my own eyes to be certain, but according to Anon, Luma must have had a reason to start this kind of research. One thing was certain at the moment. Even if the first Duke Tane believed in it and carried out the research, he ultimately failed to obtain the answer he sought. The information is a bit scattered, but some parts do feel similar to what I remember Luma saying. I would like to see and read it for myself as well. For a matter of such gravity, hearing about it was not enough. Sensing a question in Ydir's eyes, Anon frowned deeply and crossed his arms. I didn't expect you to come this quickly, so I haven't written the translation yet. I will send it along with this journal once it's done, and it would be great if you could return it for me as well. All right. Anon made a stern hand gesture, his face full of reluctance to go through the trouble of returning the experimental journal to Keshir himself. There is one more thing to discuss. What is it? Remember the magic energy that was concentrated in the Great Serene Forest, where they discovered a magic ore vein there? Anon's expression darkened as he mentioned the place that the mages of the Western Mage Union had once referred to as a magic spring. In this journal, there is something that could reveal why the magic energy was concentrated there in the first place. The cause? The magic energy, which naturally flowed like water, wasn't supposed to accumulate in one place for an extended period. However, in the Great Serene Forest, an inexplicable ancient magic was obstructing its natural flow. For nearly a millennium, the accumulated magic energy had unnaturally accelerated the growth of the forest, making it one of the most monster-infested lands on the continent. The forest, which had been a nuisance as it devoured the borders of various nations and was filled with gigantic trees too difficult for ordinary people to even scratch, had suddenly calmed down when the accumulated magic energy was released and the ore vein was discovered. Anon had previously speculated that someone might have arranged that place to act as a magic spring. But now Anon's words suggested, could the culprit behind this concentration of the magic energy be the first Duke Tane? Noticing Ydir's questioning gaze, Anon offered an explanation. The author of the journal, during his research on monsters, realized that areas with frequent monster appearances have distorted magic energy flows. He speculated that deliberately distorting the magic energy flow in a specific area might produce specific results. It's a similar line of thinking. Considering that the Great Serene Forest had been formed by slowly accumulating magic energy in a specific area, Anon's words were indeed plausible. There is no record in the journal that such an experiment was actually conducted, but it's hard to say that there is no correlation in my opinion. So, you are saying either the one who wrote the journal or someone else who knew about this concept could have done it? Exactly. Ydir found Anon's words to be both logical and plausible. Creating such a space would not have been ordinarily difficult, but if there was a goal that required gathering magic energy in that manner, perhaps one of the astoundingly talented mages from long ago might have considered it worthwhile. That's all I want to say. This might not be of interest to you, but I wanted to mention it anyway. It seems like something the commander would like to hear. Ydir was genuinely grateful to Anon. There was nothing more reassuring than his presence, given his extensive knowledge of long-forgotten magical lore and the Archmage Loma, which others were unaware of. However, Anon's expression changed abruptly to one of the distaste upon hearing the words of gratitude. Forget it. I don't want to imagine what he would like, so just don't say anything. But, no, I said I don't want to know. It's not like I looked this up for him. If you feel even a bit sorry for me having to monitor the Awakeners without any days off because of you, just say thank you. In the end, Ydir could only respond quietly with thank you, bowing under the weight of Anon's fierce anger. Is that all you're going to say? Thank you, brother. Ydir added another word, and only then did Enon's rage subside. I received a message from Dawn Palace earlier. It seems we have been granted permission to check on His Majesty's condition. We will likely enter the palace this evening, and depending on the circumstances, we may even spend the night there. Really? Ydir lifted his head abruptly at the unexpected news that struck his ears. It was unexpected but truly welcome news. The Empress had kept her promise astonishingly quickly. Kishir, who sat in the commander's seat, narrowed his eyes slightly and smiled. Yes, it's sudden, but are you all right with that? Yes, of course. And what have you been thinking about? Having just finished reviewing and categorizing the correspondence that had come to the cavalry and pondering the hidden contents of the journal of experiment he had discussed with Enon, Ydir closed his mouth as if his thoughts had been discovered. Enon had not yet sent his translation of the hidden parts of the journal, and as it concerned the first emperor, an extraordinary subject, Ydir wasn't sure what to say to Kishir. Kishir probably didn't know that Ydir had come across such a strange information, but even the thought of the first emperor was enough to make him feel weird. If someone else, whether it be the first emperor or anyone else, had also experienced time traveling back into their past like Ydir, what reason would they have for doing so? Would that person have also tried to change something? And if so, what did they change? Was the world as it is now a result of those changes? Or perhaps... I was thinking about the translator journal of experiment you gave me. I finished reading it yesterday and met with Enon to discuss it. Ydir finally said, as if shaking off his tangled thoughts. Ah, I see. Was my translation helpful? Yes, absolutely. I'm glad then. It was worth the effort. Despite the season being winter, the smile on his face was as refreshing as spring. What expression had he worn when he softly wrote Ydir's name on the back of the paper with a dry pen tip? As Ydir tried to discover the unknown face within the familiar one, he realized how foolish he was being and stopped thinking about it. Although there is something difficult to discuss right now regarding that matter, I would like to inform you when it's confirmed. Seems like there was something interesting then. Looking forward to it. If there is anything I can assist with, feel free to say. The hidden truth within the journal didn't seem all that exciting. On the contrary, it was more headache-inducing. But when Kishir said it that way, it somehow felt plausible. The sensation was reminiscent of the warmth he had felt in Kishir's arms on the day he had returned from meeting the Empress. An irresistible urge toward what the other was offering after losing a sense of familiarity he had once had alone. Hunger and fear arrived the moment he realized what he wanted. All those indescribable emotions were now more intense than ever. ... At that point in his reflections, Kishir's pen, which had been steadily scratching away, abruptly stopped. This is the first time I have sensed such a strong fragrance here since the vacation. Only then did Ydir realize that he had been emitting a scent toward him. The fact that he hadn't known until the other pointed it out was profoundly embarrassing. I apologize. It wasn't intentional. Is that so? It's a bit disappointing if it came out unintentionally. The man deeply inhaled before finishing his last signature and putting down his pen. It's good to know I wasn't the only one who was struggling to hold back. It's somewhat comforting.